Yes, I am a lifelong resident of Belleville, born here in the St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Belleville was more like a really small town. There was we all had the belief that we probably knew everybody in town, and everybody in town knew us. It was the retail center of Southern Illinois, actually, and that was entirely different. No such thing as malls and that kind of thing. So it was pretty much you knew everybody, and you met them all downtown because everybody was going to be there, and it was just a very I think a very friendly, relaxed, kind of open kind of a place. Oh, wow. Well, for what will become an obvious reason, Fellner's department store was what I knew. But the other, a lot of the other stores in town, I knew pretty well, of course, knew the schools, knew the financial institutions, knew churches. I don't know what else I could say. I mean, restaurants. There was one restaurant that I recall. Once a year, we would go out to dinner at a restaurant. It was unheard of. You simply didn't go out for meals. And of course, there was no such thing as fast food. So restaurants were really very rare.
What was the restaurant you remember?
Hausmann's restaurant. I don't know how I could define where it is now. I guess on the South Belt line, near where the bishop's house is. It was down there. And once a year, on my grandmother's birthday, she would take the family out to dinner at Hausmann's restaurant, and that's about it. Okay, I grew up in I guess you'd call it, at that time we thought of it as the east end of Belleville, now very within walking distance of downtown. I grew up in a house on the corner of C and Pennsylvania Avenue. It was a neighborhood of pretty well middle-class people. There was one apartment house. Across the street, 4 apartments. The only one that wasn't a single-family building in the neighborhood. It was a quiet neighborhood. It was there weren't very many other young children there at the time of my youth, but it was a good place to ride bicycles. You could be out at night, until even when the street light came on, you could still be out, and no fears of being out at night, and parents not worried about it. The house was a nice brick house on the corner of C and Pennsylvania. It was a little odd in the sense that my grandparents lived at the diagonal opposite corner from our house, and my next door neighbor was my first cousin, and the one next to that was another first cousin. So it was pretty much a family compound in that immediate block. The rest of the block were just a lot of people. A lot of them people went to the same church, same school. Okay, let's see. My parents were Edwin and Clotilda. An interesting name you don't see too often. And they were both born in Belleville. Edwin was his father. Well, what else can I tell you about him? His parents, of course, were. I guess his father. I guess they both. His father and mother probably both from Smithton. Marianne, or my mother's side of the family was Peter and Catherine Fellner, and they. I'm going far afield here. I'm sorry. You were asking about parents. What can I tell you? My dad worked at Fellner's department store, and then eventually became president there. My mother was a housekeeper. I was strictly took care of brats like me. Okay, I had an older brother and sister. My brother was 8 years older than me. My sister was 10 years older. So I'm sure I was a giant pain in the neck to them, but we did survive. Really got to be really good friends with my brother, and the Second World War sure screwed that up, but He and I got along great. I didn't, my sister 10 years older, I really didn't get to know her real well until much later in life. Well, of course, like I tell people, I was a kind of a tail-end depression kid. We were coming out of it, and things were getting better. So we did have a chance to take a couple of vacations, and my dad liked to drive, and so we would drive to the Smoky Mountains. I think we did that 2 or 3 times, probably in my lifetime. As far as Christmas was, or holidays was concerned, Christmas was the biggie. Christmas dinner was what's supposed to be, I guess, turkey dressing, cranberry sauce. The 2 times a year we might have a glass of wine with dinner, and that would be Thanksgiving and Christmas. And there was white, and there was red, and it was Virginia Dare. I remember the bottle with that the wine. I don't think it's even made anymore. But okay, the Hausmann grandparents. I'm positive we're from Smithton. My mother's parents were, let's see. Well, her father was from Germany. He was in a little bitty village called Geusmanns over in Bavaria. And let's see, Grandma Fowler was born in, Summerfield.
Do you remember any special meals like the grandmothers cooked for you, like any special foods or anything?
Well, the main thing I can remember about my, we didn't see the Hausmanns that often. His Grandpa Hausmann died long before I was born, so I got to know him. Grandma Fowler, we didn't have meals there, but I would frequently get a chance for dessert, and I remember her pies were spectacular. Of course, made her own crust with lard, not with anything else. No Crisco or whatever else you can use today, but it was strictly with lard, and they were still the best ever. So, okay, went to Catholic school. St. Luke had a grade school at the time. It was a 4-room school. There were 2 grades per room, and then it was all taught by nuns, the School Sisters of Notre Dame. And we had a 5th teacher who was a full-time music teacher. The pastor of our church, St. Luke Church, Father Kaiser, was really big on music. And somehow he managed to persuade the good nuns to give us a full-time music teacher who then also played organ and for church services.
Is that where you learned how to play piano?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I did. Her basic job, of course, was to go from classroom to classroom and teach us singing and whatever else, this sort of thing. But she also had the right to give private music lessons. And so frequently on Saturday I would be trekking over to the convent and play. I'm sure it drove the other nuns nuts when she had 5 or 6 of us there playing piano. But it that was where I learned, and she turned out to be a really first-class musician, eventually getting a PhD and teaching over at the Mother House in St. Louis.
So was she your favorite teacher?
Oh, yeah. Sister Theoda.
What was your favorite subject?
Oh, gosh, other than music, probably math. I was very big on that. That's a good question. Well, I didn't have too many playmates, but my one cousin who lived next door was just 1 year older than me. So a lot of times it was a matter of throwing a ball around, either baseball, football, basketball, whatever happened to be handy. Playing, they had a real nice swing set and what do you call those other things, a seesaw or whatever. We had a lot of was over in their yard a lot. Our sandbox. Oh gosh, that was a lot of that when I was really young. Older years, probably a lot of indoor activities. I was nuts about building things, erector sets and Lincoln logs and all this kind of stuff. And I could spend a lot of time on that.
Did you have a pet?
No, we didn't. Oh yeah, well there was always a special meal and a cake and with candles and that whole thing. I really don't remember what cake I was really big on then. Probably the same thing as in my later years, which would have been pineapple upside down cake.
Did you ever have a surprise birthday party as a child?
Never had a surprise birthday party.
Aww.
It was a real shame. Oh well, yeah. Easter, of course, was fun. Of course, in the youngest days, the famous Easter egg hunt, outside, and if weather was really miserable, an Easter egg hunt inside, someplace in the house. The eggs would be hidden. But, yeah, Easter was, of course, Christmas, of course, was a big deal with the Catholic religion. Midnight mass, and then home for a really nice breakfast. Usually after that, with Christmas stollen and that kind of thing. Okay, well, we continued with Catholic education, Cathedral High School, which was located obviously immediately adjacent to the cathedral here in Belleville. Since been torn down. Of course, my grade school's been torn down. My high school's been torn down. I don't know what they were trying to tell me, but anyway, cathedral at that time. Probably our class, to give you a sense of the scale of the place, was probably 60 people. So the whole school, maybe 200 to 250, and it was taught by the Brothers of Mary, which is another Catholic religious order. So those were all, it was a change from all women teachers at grade school, all men teachers in high school.
Did you do sports or any extracurricular activities?
I was not into sports. My extracurricular things were singing, the Glee Club, and journalism. I was on the school newspaper and eventually became editor of that. So I really don't. I'm sure it was gross, just like like it is for high school kids today. The things I can remember is everybody, high school days, of course, was Second World War days, and everybody was getting haircuts like military. And my mother said, "No, I want your hair longer, like it is now, or a little longer." Oh God, I felt like a complete idiot, but. Okay, well, obviously, you get to some place like junior in high school, and it's, where do we go from here? And am I going to college? And if so, where, what? And so I had decided that, okay, I was good at math. I was good at, reasonably good at drawing, and certainly in mechanical drawing, and I was very good at physics in high school. So what direction does that lean? A little bit toward architecture. The other alternative for me would have been journalism, but architecture won out in my mind, and so my parents said, "Well, you're going to go to a Catholic college," and I said, "Oh, well, there were only two that taught architecture: Catholic University in Washington D.C. or Notre Dame University." I only applied to Notre Dame because I didn't want to go to Washington, and I was accepted. So that's how I ended up at Notre Dame for 5 years. It's a 5-year program.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Did your siblings go to college?
My sister tried it for 1 year, hated it, and decided she'd much rather work. So she did. My brother had 1 year of college in, but when he was drafted for the Second World War, and did go back afterwards under the GI Bill and finished up with a degree in accounting. Well, of course, I remember on Sunday mornings after church and after breakfast, there would be a sitting down and, okay, where did my money go this week? What did everybody spend? What did it go for? And why? And so it was pretty controlled pretty tightly by my father, and not bad. I mean, he was a really great guy, but wanted to know what. And that was I think the carryover from Depression. The one I remember most, of course, is Dad usually was listening to the radio after that on Sunday morning, and Mom, come quick! They just said that they bombed Pearl Harbor. The Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. And the next question in everybody's mind: where's Pearl Harbor and what is it? Well, they'd say it's in the Hawaiian Islands. Oh, where's that? You get the globe,